Oh, okay. Okay, it says we're live. Um, okay, so what's up, guys? It's Zyl with Zyl Media here. We're just getting started with the stream. Arrow is back this week, so we are going to get into covering chapters 10 and 10, 11, and then talk a little bit about the Zolo versus Lucci fight that goes on throughout it, and we're going to talk a little bit about manga readers as well, because it's a hot button topic. Would you say, Arrow?
I mean, just before we start, we're just talking about like the best way to read manga, and like, I would definitely say that people are pissed with TCB. I would definitely say that 20, it's always 20 minutes away. Yeah, if you get that joke, you understand. Like, if you know, you know.
True. I do not know. Sadly, I don't read that much. Um,
You don't read
but
TCB that much?
I really only use it for reading One Piece.
Oh, but you don't use like the Discord. Oh,
Yeah, no.
okay, okay,
I have
okay.
it through, like, if I get it, it's normally just because I know to look on a certain time.
Yeah,
It's
like, or
kind of
you
like,
get a notification from like a YouTuber or some shit.
yeah, normally from like the BDA Discord or something.
Yeah. No, I'm. It's toxic in there. It's toxic in the BDA Discord for agenda, and it's toxic in the TCB Discord
I
for just the
haven't really
scans.
been an active member of the Discord.
Like, I don't. I just watch. That's all I do though.
I
I just sit
like
around and
BDA stuff.
watch.
I watch his stuff. Cole, my guy.
No, but the niggas are
You
awesome.
know,
Like, no, they're great.
yeah.
It's just you got. I mean, you know, me and
I
you.
just can't do. Yeah, it
We
can be
love
toxic at
agenda, but
times.
like we're not fucking fanatics about agenda.
I mean, I am. I will fight my agenda, but I'm not gonna.
No, you're not gonna crucify somebody for your agenda, and
It's
you're
more
also like,
just. It's like, unless I'm having like a debate about it, it doesn't really seem like an effective way to have a conversation around agenda, right? Like when we're
well,
talking about agenda, you and I are having like a one-on-one conversation, or even if we're talking like three, four people, it's like
it's not that
one
serious.
person says their thoughts, we stop, they say their
Yeah.
thoughts. Discords and Twitter,
Well,
that's not really how people get down. So
I
that's
I
kind of
well
why I stopped interacting that way.
I also just think that like me and you both like are. I mean, correct me if I'm wrong, but both of our favorite characters is Luffy.
Yeah, for me, it's
Yeah,
Luffy. Yeah,
and so like I feel like a
Sanji's
gen.
right there, but
Yeah,
but
like I mean, I
Luffy.
love Sanji. I love Zoro. I mean, I'm a Chopper stan.
I
So
mean,
like
Chopper
it,
is
yeah,
the
like
like
if I could give him stocks anytime, like that's my thing.
on
But
God, Chopper feels like the position of love that you would have for your dog in the crew,
that
or
ass,
like
love
your
that
pet,
nigga.
which is
The
crazy
dog
because
that
Chopper's
can
not
take
a
care of
pet,
you.
but like Chopper's like the ultimate pet at the same time.
Oh yeah.
Because it's like a pet with all the functionality of the human that you would want it to have.
And cotton candy is cheaper than dog food.
For real.
So
Plus, we got Sanji around, and this is a
yeah.
reindeer that eats meat. Like,
Yeah. No, but the thing is, like on the BDA, like it's just BDA, and it's just in calls, comments. Like you're either seeing, I've been past this because I love a
see,
lot of
I
different
just don't
fandoms.
read comments. I just
No,
listen
no,
to
no,
what
I
they have to
know.
say. I
I
stay
don't read
away.
the comments, like I don't read the comments because I'm engaging. I read the comments to get a pulse, right? Like just to hear,
Mhm.
just to kind of understand what the community at large is thinking. Sometimes, like I've heard some good shit. Like the community put me on Uteron. The community put
Oh,
me
you
on to
Dayron?
like,
Yeah, he's a legend.
yeah, like there's a. I mean, like
When
I
I first
realized
started with
how
the Zyl
how
Media channel, I was
yeah.
chatting with him a little bit.
Oh, true.
Yeah, he's a great
Oh, okay,
dude.
wait. I'm gonna pause. I need to hear about this.
What do you mean?
You were talking to Uteron.
Yeah, he's a dope dude. He's like we don't talk much because he speaks Japanese and I speak English.
Oh, that's
But
fair.
just a couple of times when I first got started on like Twitter and stuff like that, I chat with him and like Geo and so on and so forth. A couple of people in like the One Piece communities. Just they're cool people, you know. Some of them have great takes, others of them have takes. But that's true for anybody in the One Piece community.
Nah, that's fair. That's fair. That's fair. Me thinking that the Black Bear Pirates are gonna change the Egghead. But but the thing is, like, I feel just to end this off,
Yeah.
the call, like, on the ground level, people like care about other characters, and I think that that's genuinely important to have like some people's favorite side characters might be Katakuri, might be
Mm-hmm.
Phoebe, the other people, and so everyone's got an agenda around that shit. But the feuding between Sanji and Zoro has honestly gotten people to become pacifists. I found, like, I've honestly realized people have just become agendaless
Yeah.
as
Well, I mean,
time's
that's
gone
what
on.
happens if you like Sanji. You know, you kind of have like three paths, right? You could become like a Sanji tard. You could become like a person who just ignores the facts, or you could
Yeah,
become a person who's just like disinvolved with all of it, right? Like Sanji's always going to
yeah,
be below Zolo. Like that's his spot. He's supposed to be like the rival, but he's supposed to lose to Zolo because Zolo's the two man,
there's number two.
right?
Yeah,
That's
first
the
man.
person that Luffy trusts the most
Hmm.
with the crew. If Luffy's gone, he's like, "Oh, Zolo's there. How'd this happen with Zolo there?" Right? Like that was this whole recognition on Skypiea. He was like,
Hmm.
"How did people get this fucked up and Zolo's still around?"
Yeah,
Like that
yeah.
was his whole statement, right? So it wasn't
But
like, and Sanji's
Skypiea
still
was
around, and
fucked.
Sanji was there putting in mad work.
Yeah. No, but
Well, actually,
Skypiea.
Sanji was getting mad work done to
Nah,
the
no,
entirety of that part of the island arc. But
nah, dog. Like, that's the thing. Like I feel like Skypiea, like the that situation is like so similar to the Sabaody situation, which kind of feels similar to this one that we're in right now. Where like niggas like they might be strong enough to deal with what they got to deal with, but no one's strong enough to handle this whole situation.
yeah, but
And like,
that's why
yeah,
we in 10-11 are like, nigga, we scoot.
yeah,
We
that
scoot. Luffy
ass.
said, nah, bro, we
We gotta
run.
go. We keep on running. Running for what? They don't stop coming no matter what I do.
Luffy's like, these guys are immortal. I know what to do, bro. Like,
No.
they're not going nowhere. We gonna
Well,
lock them down. We gotta get out of here, though.
and then like I think like the fates alone, right? Like we initially were like Yonkos are like an adjacent strong people, right? But like now seeing like these fucking like I don't know if it's Jake Garcia or which one, but ACOC Roar,
Oh yeah,
like
that's not Jay Garcia.
stronger
That's
than Big Mom.
Topman. No, that's
Topman,
not stronger than Big Mom.
the whole island. No, deadass. It was the whole island. When Big Mom did it, it was only the top of the. It was only where the party was happening.
Well, sure, but like we're talking completely different sizes, right? Egghead's not nearly as big as Whole Cake was.
Mm.
Whole Cake was massive.
Yeah, maybe. Yeah, no. Maybe you're right. Maybe you're right about that. Maybe you're right about
But
that.
also, then you have to consider like the
But
size too. Big
it's a
Mom is
lot of
Big
shit.
Mom sized, and this giant boar is gonna have a more powerful like vocal cord setting to begin with.
But all the way to like to pass the shoreline and to the
Well,
perimeter boats like all around the
sure, but
island.
it's like,
That's nuts.
but that's like, imagine one of the like island whales roaring. Without Conqueror's hockey, you'd still hear it across an island, right? It's just
Like
it's a way larger creature as well.
no, definitely.
Right,
The
so it's just
scale
like
is
because those
massive.
boars are shown to be that boar, the topman. He is shown to be, I think, bigger than Dory and Broggy.
Mm-hmm.
Both.
It seems so.
So like, and Big Mom's not giant sized. So
No.
she is a big Betty, but you know.
Yeah. Nah. It's crazy. But Conquerors hockey confirmed.
Yep. Though we knew that.
Yeah. Yeah. There wasn't really any other explanation.
Yeah.
Right? Like if we're gonna stick within the prayer like the rules of the world. But
Luffy getting turned into powder. Like you see him get all of
like
his
yeah, like
stuff
get it
just
blown up
blown
and yeah,
off.
blown up. Yeah, no, like but that's what I mean. Like I think that the problem, like there's this reiteration that Saturn says, like, do you not know who he is? They say he's my buddy. And then
Mhm.
afterwards, they're like, we should end this before you call him another name.
Yeah.
And I think that I think that we've always known Conquerors hockey is like this will, right? It's
Mhm.
like the will over other people. It's like a way to like, it's like an inspirative tool as well. Similarly, right? Like people get drawn to that stuff. Is it is it really possible that like the Conquerors hockey really is just dependent on like maybe on a global scale of how like strong and powerful the people are perceived to be?
I don't think it's perception. I think it's self-belief. Right? Because perception would put more people using Conquerors hockey doing good.
Mm-hmm.
Self-belief, anyone can believe in themselves.
Yeah.
So, like, if you're gonna say, "Oh, like this person's a mass murderer," the perception of being a mass murderer is exceedingly negative, right?
Yeah.
But the self-belief of a mass murderer is like something that's like they're usually disturbed, obviously, but like they're like 100% confident in all of their abilities.
Yeah, like some
They're doing what they're doing because they either want to be caught and think they
yeah,
can
like
outsmart everybody, or they're like seriously disturbed for a
yeah,
different.
I've been watching like 2 minutes fucking Criminal Minds, like seeing this is Ted Bundy, like interviews and shit like him, like talking about how no remorse, no guilt,
That wasn't off
deriving
Criminal
pleasure from
Minds.
this shit, you know. No,
I
but
just said mass
I think
murder and
that
I had to use a
I think
defense that would work for it.
yeah, man, like no, it's fun. But like with these guys, like they're like y'all niggas are insects. Like it doesn't matter. Like there's no intent behind one accidentally getting squashed. And so for them, like they just have this massive like you know what's really funny? I just don't feel like I've seen this much of a presence from a boss, like from enemies like this much, honestly, since like JJK, which feels weird to say. But like, I just don't feel like I've ever seen like a villains carrying like this much weight before. Like that
I
have been
think we
like
have.
I don't know. I
I
don't
think we
know.
have. I think Naruto had villains that carried weight like this.
I think that like I don't know, but like pain is one thing, right? We're talking about an entire like global. It's globally known that these are the top oppressors. Everyone's under their boot. They have all the resources in the world to be able to do whatever they need to get done. The only thing that they can't control are the hearts of people.
Is that cheesecake the Monterey Jack?
Should be. I think maybe,
It's a lot of
funnily enough,
power.
solo leveling. The end of solo leveling was similar to that, where it was
Yeah,
like
like in
just
terms
a
of
whole bunch of like villains that were undeniable.
yeah. No, I would definitely say. I definitely say that like, but the main character in Solo Leveling is overpowered, man.
Yeah, but like it's very clear that Luffy is going to be just as overpowered very soon.
I hope that.
But I don't think it's a bad thing. Like I think the difference, there's lots of differences between One Piece and solo
Yeah.
leveling. I don't think that's going to be following even the same trajectory. I'm just saying that the feeling of weight is the same. I'm not saying that the similarity in story is there.
I think that like
That moment
with
in solo leveling when you get like all the monarchs,
mhm.
that feeling right there, that feeling of like this is an impending doom. Like right before you find out that the monarchs are actually super weak and that Jinwoo's got everything under his belt.
Yeah.
But that moment of impending dread when you see the monarchs for the first time,
Oh,
that's
you're
the similar,
terrified.
yeah,
Yeah.
that's the similar feeling you're getting here,
Mhm.
right? So, but I don't think that it's gonna end the same way or even like remotely the same way. Like obviously, Luffy's like trying to dip. He recognizes this is a problem. He's got to figure out how to deal with. I still think that Yonko are much stronger than the five elders. Um, I think that the five elders have a gimmick that's preventing damage being taken fully. And then once you can bypass that, you can actually take them out. But I think it's like one of those types of things. Because
I
like
think
Kaido and Big Mom, they had that same gimmick. But even when we got rid of that gimmick, they were ridiculously strong fighters. We've seen the full extent of their fighting capabilities for the um, Gorosei. I don't think that they're gonna be able to bring out stronger moves that are like much stronger or much more devastating.
I don't know
Like
about
look at
that
what
though,
Luffy
man.
did to
Like,
them with this chapter. Just pulled a tree out of the ground, made it into a bat in a second, and slapped their bombs right back at them.
I mean, I was gonna just double check. Like, I'm pretty sure these guys are still up though, man.
Yeah, they're still up because they're immortal, but that's what I'm saying. They just might have an insane defense trick that might keep, but like their damage output is nothing. Like it's being negated. So their skill is really low. And I think that's because they don't fight as often as they should, and they rely on the defenses that are granted to them. And
It's
that
possible to say that.
and that would fall in line with the story of One Piece.
Yeah.
Strength unused becomes weakness. That's what happens with Crocodile. That's what happens with Moria.
Yeah. I'm just. Oh wait, he really did get like kind of like just blown out. It's not. He didn't really get dusted, but he got blown out. Like I see what you mean.
Yeah, like Luffy didn't get destroyed, but like this is a move he's never seen in the world before, right? And he's not
No,
like
for
a
sure,
huge
for
material monster like the Elbaf giants are.
I want to see if he's willing, if he's gonna be able to do it. Yeah. So like they literally say they're like, And he must be crushed before you call him something else. This is by Jay Garcia. Eradicated from the historical record. So, like, there is definitely something really pressing
Yeah,
about the fact
it's
that
because he's Nika.
Like you said.
no, but I think that there might be. I think that there's like this internal. I think there's an inherent fear, not because of not because like they think that like, oh, he's Nika, like he's gonna blah, blah, blah. I think because like there's an inherent power that is coming from the devil fruits themselves, from like having like a better sense of imagination, or having a better sense or a stronger sense of belief in one's powers and one's self capabilities. And I think that like with the Vegapunk like intro really kind of explaining that we owe all to our desires, and that like devil fruits kind of like are like the ask of like possible realities, that like if Luffy is like, I feel like Luffy wouldn't mind taking on a burden for other people to help, like to try to help with freeing them. If there was a way for him to solve
What do
all
you
this
mean?
at
That's
once.
what he does.
No, exactly, right? And so like if oh shit.
I think, like, I guess
Yeah.
because this is my main theory, but my main theory on the end of the story is that Luffy's overarching dream is to have a party with the world.
I love that.
And and I think it was Roger's dream as well, because both of them loved nothing more than celebration. We've seen every single arc. There is never a time where Luffy isn't celebrating. The man, the legend himself is called Joy Boy. What brings more joy than the time of celebration? The drums of celebration. Celebration is literally in every aspect of the conversation around the center of One Piece.
Mm-hmm.
And because of, or the drums of
Give me
liberation,
one
like
second.
they bring, like they're brought in on celebration.
Yeah.
You know,
No, so like with the drum, yeah, no, I understand. Like he's always been a liberator. He's always been a person of like justice, of good, like um and so like his there's more fear from an authoritarian, like to just have somebody with that presence around be able to motivate kingdoms to completely overthrow kingdoms, like just to be able to quell civil wars and other things like that.
well, I think it's this, because I think it's the only thing that would make like a lot of sense, if that makes sense.
Mhm.
So like, for example, Roger had that dream. He had this dream of being someone, or of being someone who could share a party with everybody in the world, right?
Yeah,
When Roger got told that he was about to die, that dream he probably had to like run as fast as he could towards that dream if he wanted to get to it. So he sailed all the seas, meeting all these different peoples, so he could find something, right? So he could find whatever it was, so he could get everything together. And then once he got to the end of it, he learned the history of the world and what it would take to do so, like to have that real party and like and free everything. But he realized that he didn't have the time. It was going to take too long. The things that were to come wouldn't come for much longer, right? That's where you get the conversation with Poseidon, or about Poseidon with
yeah,
Neptune. Um, and so Roger finds out, oh, the daughter won't be born for another 10 years, and then or the daughter won't be mature for another 10 years, and then so on. Born and then matured, whatever it was, Charlie's prediction, right?
yeah.
Um, So it had to be Luffy. It couldn't be Roger. He was too early. So when he got there, that's what it was like. That's where the laugh comes in. He realizes like everything that he could do for him to have this party. He figures it out. He gets to the last place, only for it to be revealed to him that these things need to fall in line, or otherwise it can't be done. So I think Luffy will end up fulfilling some sort of prophecy when he gets to Laugh Tale. That'll have him lead towards the end of the story, because for him to complete Roger's journey, for him to have the greater journey, he has to complete Roger's journey and then one up by completing their shared dream as well.
Yeah, I think though, like, if and I really hope that we get the chance to go to Elbaf right after this. It seems like we will.
And like, I also don't think Oda's gonna pass up the chance to have like himself draw a picture of all of his cast all over the world partying.
Yeah,
like,
no, for sure.
He's made way too many characters for that.
No, he loves it, right? Yeah. No, I think that, like, so if we get the chance to go to Elbaf, I think it'll be one of the first times that in a while that Luffy will actually be listening in on what is actually going on in the state of the world. Because I think that, like, almost every single time once Luffy finally sits down and realizes, like, it happened with Kaido, it happened with Doflamingo, where he realized that these people are the inherent bad people, and I'm gonna go and punch them in the face. It happened with Crocodile really quickly, where he caught on to the fact that he needed to take him out. Mm-hmm. And so for him, if he ends up getting confirmation either from Sabo, the Revolutionary Army, that, like, yes, there is confirmation that there is a king out there, and that's why the Gorosei were sent after to take you out. Here's a history of the world. Feel free to go to the last island, because I think that's the thing, right? Is that, like, Luffy's probably going to be left with the choice of Elbaf, whether or not he should go to initiate the final war, or if he should go to the last island. And I think that he's going to take the choice to go to the island, because he just wants, like, he cares about the adventure more.
I think I disagree a little bit with that, because I don't think Luffy would do something like that in good conscience. I don't think it'll be a choice. I think instead what will happen is he'll learn about what Joy Boy is. Because all throughout the time that Luffy's been Joy Boy, Luffy has yet to acknowledge that he is different than whom he is.
Yeah, but I think that's why I think that because of that, I think that Luffy very much is the type to see for himself. Like, I feel like it's more like he's similar to, like, you, where, like, he has to know on his own whether or not, like, this is true within himself. And so
true.
I think that, like, for him, like, that will be the ultimate, and I feel like Robin will reinforce that and being like, well, we came this far. Like, what's one other island? We're not going to let Shanks beat us, because he also has an inherent rivalry with Shanks. She's probably going to get updated when he goes there that they're going for the One Piece. So
you don't think that Shanks will be back on Elbaf by the time they return?
No. I think Luffy and Shanks are meeting at Laugh Tale.
I think Luffy and Blackbeard are meeting at Laugh Tale.
Whoever else.
Laugh Tale's a mystery to me.
Laugh Tale's a mystery.
But we gotta see Luffy and Shanks soon. And I think that Elbaf provides the perfect place for it.
Because I'm gonna be honest with you, like, this is a pirate story, right? I feel like the last book, and, like, also, like, with Pluton, and
the last battle is going to be
the last battle is gonna be a naval. Yeah. The last battle has to be a naval battle. So, like, I honestly think, like, it wouldn't be out of the realm of possibility that, like, right after Elbaf, like, we go to Laugh Tale and everything just Ragnarok just comes.
I think the reason why the last battle has to be naval is because what if Luffy just dreamt himself to be the size of the Red Line? Where else could that kaiju-sized Luffy fit in the world?
Well, I also think that the destruction
stand in the sea. Zunisha is taller than the Red Line.
I think that there's a false perception that Madame Charlie's vision of Luffy's destruction of Fishman Island is actually a product of a non-voluntary choice.
No,
I
I think he'll
wouldn't be
destroy Fishman Island on purpose.
No. But I don't think that I think that the fishmen will also choose to destroy Fishman Island on
Yeah,
purpose
I
at the
agree.
end of this too, right?
I
And
agree.
so I think that if you have the major oppressor out of the world, it opens up the opportunity for everyone to have the vision that you want towards the end. I just think that with the way how Oda has honestly been pacing everything as of late, it doesn't really seem out of the realm of possibility that we stay in Egghead for 2.5 years, which we're approaching 2 years now. Um,
Oh
and
no, I think we're out of Egghead in the next 10 chapters.
well, I mean, we might be right. We might be out of Egghead in the next 10 chapters. We might be out of Egghead by summer. We might be out of Egghead by but I think that we're going to be done with Egghead this year. And
Oh
so
yeah, I think by fall
yeah.
we're out.
And so, kind of having that understanding in the back of my head or the notion, like, he baited us with the 4-panel teaser during his last break before he started the Egghead arc about where the people would go.
Mhm.
Now that we know how he's deciding to do this massive, well-paced, large-scale story, I wouldn't give. I wouldn't. I don't think that 5 years is out of the realm possibility anymore, and that's kind of
No,
scary to me.
I think that it'll be I think it'll take some time before we get to the end of One Piece, to be completely honest. Still think it will. But the story is ended. It's ended. We've
I just don't think that there's much more that needs to be said. After the Void Century reveal, how many more things really need to play out?
well, but look at we're tying up so many loose ends as we go though.
Yeah.
Right? With every chapter. So I agree. It's ending soon. It is. But I think it'll take a while for Oda to get the results that he wants on certain payoffs. And I think he'll see those through. So it'd be we need to hear about the Void Century. We need to hear about the conversations around Nika. We need to have the conversations around who and how Joy Boy is connected, who
Yeah.
Emu is, what all of these things need to be resolved, right? So there's lots of things to talk about still for that. But I think just before we're wrapping up here, one thing that I wanted to cover would be how you feel about the month-long break as we head into the month-long break. How you feel about Oda saying he needs some time to take care of himself, look after his health, and him saying, from what I've seen online, that he still has to figure out what the One Piece is. I don't believe this. I think this might be a
Yeah.
mistranslation.
I think that last piece is incorrect. I think that he knows. I think that he's trying to figure out how to get there. And I think that because I think that the story is still forming until each chapter releases. The story is still not formed, and I think that that's one of the most interesting things about it is because One Piece just feels like a storm every single week as of late, ever since Egghead. Ever since that swirling eddy, every single week has felt like a fucking
Dude, I
massive
can't
storm.
wait until I'm reading this in the reread. It's gonna be so much fun to have, because right now I've been on the edge of my seat for weeks.
Yeah.
Right? Every week it's been insane resolution to the previous chapter, insane cliffhanger for the next chapter.
Yeah. Well, and I think that like there are things that just people forget, that that's why I like the anime for. Like obviously anime lover here, but the Blackbeard thing fight, Blackbeard and Law fight, the Kid versus Shanks moment. We get we finally get a few good men on Marie's
Sabo
War.
and a few
Yeah.
good men.
You
Yeah.
know, so like I'm trying to see like that we get the aftermath of the Lucia event. Like we still these are massive things that like have all taken place while everyone's been on this one island. There have been two massive shifts in like power globally. Kamabaka Kingdom is pretty much no more.
What do you mean?
Well,
Kamabaka is fine.
well, Kamabaka Kingdom, like, and
And it's
not
Kamabaka Queendom.
sorry. Oh yeah. Sorry, Kamabaka Kingdom. No. Sorry. That's a false interpretation. Yeah, no, they're fine, but like they got destroyed. They got demolished, by Blackbeard and by the Seraphim.
No.
Not Kamabaka. What's the fucking one?
Baltiga.
Amazon Lily.
Amazon Lily got
Amazon
demolished, yeah.
Lily. Not
But it's not
Kamabaka.
demolished,
Yeah.
really. That happened in a small portion of Amazon Lily. They never made it to the island. They weren't in the palace. They were in the they were still in the forest. Remember that?
They were in the main area. There's a whole ass fucking mountain of Luffy. There's a whole ass mountain with Luffy's face plastered across the whole thing.
You know what? You
They're
might
by
be
the
right.
yeah, they're by the palace area.
Okay.
And
Yeah,
then
you might
fucking
be
Mihawk
right.
cut a mountain in half. So yeah. Then you have like the buggy situation. Like
But this is what I mean when
the
we have
setup
this
is nuts.
conversation. When we have this conversation, it's just when I say like the anime disappoints me because the manga is so good. I think that the anime is the better platform. It has the ability to take everything the manga does and just fucking boom
and just blow it
Boom.
up, take it over the top. Yeah.
Exactly as One Piece should be, to be completely honest.
The problem is like the fucking flashbacks. There are way too many flashbacks.
But this is what I'm saying with the remake, they could and if they did, God, if they just took the entire story, like chapter by chapter, and just covered the manga straight, and only ever put emphasis on things where it was like expansions of fights, or
I'm gonna be dead ass with you though, dog.
expansions
Like
of like scenes that needed it. Like for example, the Blackbeard scene, from what I've seen, Blackbeard versus Law, that was beautiful.
yeah,
That was everything that I wanted for threateningness in Blackbeard.
yeah,
Everything I wanted for skillfulness in Law.
yeah.
The animation was crazy. I'm not like as big a fan of like the everything is broken and bojangly looking on the screen.
No, I feel you, but like
even still, I was happy with like
Yeah.
the results, what I saw. Like I was like, this was amazing. And that's how it felt in the manga.
yeah.
But if you did that with all of the anime instead of just one portion of it, this thing would go crazy.
Well, I
People
think
would be like,
the
no, One Piece is undeniable.
like I think the problem that I have with One Piece is that it's really felt like the best way to describe it is like One Piece ever since Fishman Island. I honestly want to say ever since after Dressrosa has kind of felt like no, I would even say at Dressrosa has felt like a New Testament. Like it is it's really long arcs, a lot of fucking characters, over 5 years to finish these fucking stories in some cases.
Mhm.
And I think that when you really take in the anime, the last worst season before things completely went to shit was Fishman. And Fishman was the precursor for what would end up being like Punk Hazard, which ended up fucking taking like 69 episodes for no reason at all. Like, or I think it was even more than that. And then you had Dressrosa literally taking 112 episodes. So wait, no. I think Dressrosa has 138
138 episodes,
Yeah.
I think. But I think 112 chapters.
Yeah.
But that is the case, right? Like there's a lot of extra shit that's put into the anime that doesn't need to be there. But there's so much like, dude, I could tell you right now, the best way to do One Piece would be to have the Chibi Luffy presents the SBS. Until Chopper joins, and then it's Chibi, Luffy, and Chopper.
We'll just do Chibi Crew.
Well,
like
yeah,
a Chibi show would be great.
Chibi show at the end of it, for the SBS,
like a Chibi short.
And then you'd want like the.
Well, no, for SBS stuff in particular, but like I genuinely think that the first couple of seasons of One Piece are great. Like, they can be shortened. They could be shortened. They could be a little streamlined.
Well, but you could also just follow the story more. You know what I mean? Like,
I don't think that the first season of One Piece does a bad job of following romance.
I don't disagree. I think that they made some unnecessary changes for no reason. Like I think that one of those things that like puts people off is that the first couple of episodes kind of seem all disjointed. Whereas when you read the manga, the first couple of chapters all seem like this is pretty straightforward and to the point. Like starting off with Luffy just setting off is awesome and cool. But it doesn't give us any context to the character. And so then when we're meeting characters and we're having these like backstories show up out of nowhere, it doesn't.
No, I understand what you're saying. Like the fact that Romance Dawn is the
begins
first
with
chapter
Luffy as opposed to Shanks.
Actually makes the story
choppy
form. Yeah, it makes the story form because I think that there is something to be said about the first chapter of every manga kind of like holding like a really good place. Like I just think I remember reading the first chapter of Attack on Titan, or the first chapter of like Tokyo Ghoul, and just having like a lot of staying power within oneself. Like the first what is it? Is it the first book of of Naruto where is it like longer and it ends with Naruto ended up fighting the guy with the shadow clone jutsu, or is that like
chapter 1 of Naruto is chapter 1 or is episode 1 of
and it's just longer, right? Like if I'm just remembering,
it's like a pilot.
It's like 56 chapters. Yeah, 56 pages. Yeah, and it ends with him beating the shit out of the guy.
Yeah.
And then graduating from the elementary school class. So,
right, and that's fast paced, and they do it fast paced. And this is where I think One Piece has been getting kind of snubbed, just because Toei Animations is a kind of mediocre studio, but also the people who were show writing for One Piece were kind of mediocre even at the beginning. The story's so good, it's really, I don't know how we mess these things up, but for One Piece, not having it feel like it's going fast makes no sense to me. Like when I read through the book, it makes complete sense that these people have only spent like 9 months together, because everything seems to be happening like the next day. And if it's not the next day, they let you know.
Yeah, like the problem. I think the problem with
The problem comes with that for us as readers, because now we're week to week, because we're caught up to the most recent episode.
I
You know,
wouldn't
like-
even really say that it's week to week. I would honestly say that like I've noticed this through my playthrough of the Final Fantasy VII games recently, that like the original games, like I have the same problem. I'm having the same problem that I had with that I still am having, but like Egghead has compromised the things that I don't like with a lot of really amazing things, but the crew moments. And I think that with like Final Fantasy VII, like Rebirth, for example, and don't know spoilers, but there are a bunch of side quests like that focus on improving, and there's like a relationship system within the game where you want your crew to like have like a high affinity. I'm not entirely sure what the end goal is with that, but um, compared to the original from '97, they're really like side characters are side characters, and you really are only focusing on the primary people. And
Yeah.
I think that that's what the Shueisha has kind of turned One Piece into now.
Well,
Or
and I think we
yeah.
can. And I think that if One Piece were to be made better, as like as in that anime form, we'd see things like the filler that is in One Piece being awesome for one. Like
Mhm.
the G8 filler is amazing. The only issue is that right after the G8 filler, we have filler added to Long Ring Longland, which didn't need filler.
Yeah.
Like it's such a good thing, Long Ring Longland, in and of itself. It's like perfectly paced. But then you go into the anime and you go from great filler, like filler that's like totally awesome. Of course, Luffy's crew landed in a naval base. Where else would they land? What other star would Luffy be born under, other than this like uber unlucky star, right?
Yeah.
So of course they land in the naval base. But we leave that and then we go to filler.
You get
And
more
that's
filler,
and
yeah.
like so cutting things like that out, but instead expanding fillers in moments like crew moments, like just having more time spent on the ship, um maybe not in conversation, but just like cutscenes, like panning with the characters just walking around or reading, or like a scene of Nami doing her charts, like just more active shots, even if they're not necessarily talkative. But Oda, they could also work with Oda to fill in those scenes as well if they wanted to. I think that the big issue that I have reading One Piece and having like the mind of a Western reader is that I get the ability from my end as someone who's read a lot of Western fiction, that these authors were able to like see their product, see it finished, and then edit it. Whereas Oda gets to like edit his thing on the fly. He'll never get to see it completed and then edit it afterwards before he
Yeah.
puts it out.
And I think
And that's like
that
so unfortunate for him.
well that's the plight of
Yeah, any manga, anything
serialized
like
like
that.
well anything, like even TV series, right? Like
Yeah.
having TV shows get canceled seasons before they need to end.
Well, but that's
Or
not necessarily true, because sometimes like you film the entire season before it's put out.
no, I mean I'm talking about like a season of a show might be a completion, like it might be a completion point, but like in retrospect, like the season might be like is like kind of relative to a Tokuban,
Right.
right? Like so, like that's the end product in hindsight. They still spent these several months making something that they didn't get public reception on, because that's the other thing too, right? Is that like although Oda is 3 weeks ahead of us, he is getting he pretty much has a pulse feed that he can look at and see whether or not the decisions that he made several weeks prior are positive or negative decisions, like in terms of readership for his story on a weekly level, right? On a monthly
I
level, like when he
don't think
released.
he can though. That's kind of what I'm saying. Is
No,
like
like honestly, like if you look at
even with
Shueisha,
all the editors he has around him, he does his best to listen to them. Remember, we've had conversations we've heard snippets and stuff from editors saying we told Oda to go this way and he went a different way. Or
no.
we
Like
told Oda this
he's
would be cool
choosing
and he
himself.
incorporated it.
He's choosing himself, but he is definitely using observational data, like
This
on
man's
his
out here with
like
his observation hockey.
well for himself, right? But like to be able to see whether or not like, hey, maybe from like I know for a fact part of the reason why we still get a lot of Ace is because like Ace is one of his favorite characters, but Ace is also one of the top favorite characters
Yeah.
in the world from every single popularity test. So
I don't think we get much of Ace, to be honest. I think
I feel
Ace is
like-
just that relevant of a character.
I feel like we get Ace as much as we get Shanks.
No, we get Ace more than we get Shanks.
Post Ace's death.
No,
we
No,
get way
even
more
still,
Ace.
like Ace is way more common, way more important than Shanks. Like Shanks is more important as a character, someone to be alive, someone for Luffy to conquer. But Ace was a character that was always going to be unconquerable and was made with the express purpose that he was to die.
Jesus
like Oda
Christ.
knew that was going to happen.
Yeah.
Because
It's
Ace
just
has
like-
to die.
Mhm.
There's no space for there's no space for him.
There's
in
no
the
space for
story.
two people, yeah. Especially knowing that like with the events that happened after the Summit War, that Ace would then assume the responsibility of like taking on like the Whitebeard pirates, and then that would become a problem in and of itself. That the war
And I
government would
think
eventually
that
have to deal
if
with.
it were
Yeah.
if they had taken different paths, maybe that would have been the case. But the paths that Luffy, Ace, and Sabo all took were to be pirates, not
Well,
to be other things.
Sabo more revolutionary, but like I think that like
Well, no, Sabo set out to be a pirate. He lived
Initially,
as a revolutionary. That's a completely different thing.
no,
If Ace had set out to be a revolutionary, Ace would have been successful because Ace's mindset, even when we read the Ace Light book or the Ace Light novel, the commentary from Ben Beckman is that Ace seems like a revolutionary, not a pirate. He's living his life the wrong way. And Whitebeard says this too. Like Whitebeard validates these points that Ace isn't a traditional pirate and that he wants Ace's type of vigor to lead the next generation.
So almost in a sense, like Ace should have been with Dragon.
Right.
Sabo should have been with
Garp.
Garp.
Because
And
then he could solve the problems from the side of the Marines.
Yeah,
where he wouldn't be running away from his problems.
Yeah, and then
remains
Luffy,
the pirate. But Luffy was the only one to be the pirate. That's why Luffy was always going to be the pirate. Because Luffy is the next generation of Nika. Right? Like that has to happen. That's his fruit.
Yeah,
He's
like Luffy was always going to follow Roger. Luffy was always going to follow Ace's dad. Yeah.
And I think that because Ace was in the misaligned thing, he was gonna die. I think that it might be the same for Sabo.
I guess maybe in that in that moment they kind of realized that like Luffy is the most true to form person around them at such a young age. Yeah.
But yeah, I think Luffy is like the second coming of Joy Boy.
He's the second coming of Nika.
He's the second coming of Nika. But and you know that's proved in this chapter, right? Like you show up in these clothes. How do you know of this style, right? Like we know he's Nika. He knows not, right? And everybody's kind of like holding that information back from him because he's not been addressed directly as that to his knowledge.
Yeah.
Right? Like people have said it around him, but he wasn't paying attention. People have said it to him, but he wasn't focusing on it.
No.
But like
Even
if
now,
he's
like
paying direct attention,
yeah.
well, now they're talking around it, right? They didn't say Nika, they didn't call him Nika, they didn't sit him down and say, "Hey, Luffy, you are dressed like the god of this land."
Yeah.
They'll do that probably when they get to Elbaf, and Luffy will be forced to pay attention. And I think that the reason that Luffy will be forced to pay attention is because Jinbei's there, because Jinbei's the only person who's ever been shown to be able to force Luffy into paying full attention to something,
I'm saying
even
as
more
a
so than
BB,
Zolo.
if you gotta pay attention.
Right? And I think that like the world isn't over losing Ace. Right? There were still many people who were relevant to the story who would have a bond formed with Luffy's predecessor.
Yeah.
Right?
Dude, I convinced myself he wasn't dead.
Yeah, my sister convinced herself that Ace wasn't gonna die, and then cried, terrified, as he got a hole punched through his stomach, turned into a human donut.
Every time you say that, I feel you.
But yeah,
fucking crazy. That's
okay,
crazy.
I gotta head out, so that'll have to
Yeah.
be all for this week. But hoping to
No, we
be
talked about
on-
everything pretty much.
Yeah,
Like, yeah, there's no more OP scans, only TCB, and niggas are tired because everything's always 20 minutes away.
yeah.
But,
But we'll
yeah.
see how long even that's up.
Mhm.
God bless. Hopefully they stay. In the
I'm
shadows.
not trying to just wait until Sundays to
But-
read this shit. Like, I was naive as a child when it came to like reading manga. I was always like looking for the same with freaking volume number 3 in any library I could go to.
I mean, I
So,
get it, but I'm just saying,
yeah.
God bless. They're doing the world service, but
Not
we
us.
know it's at the end of the day, it is piracy, and
Hey, we pay for the official, please. That this doesn't stop us from wholeheartedly saying, please support
yeah, we
the
do
official.
pay for the official.
We pay for the official. We
I have
read
them
the
right here.
official again before we spend like 30 minutes before we go live reading the official. So we are up to date. We're talking about relevant stuff. We're using real sources.
We're just also One Piece addicts like the rest
Yeah.
of you, so we need that instant transfusion of One Piece. As soon as it hits the scans, we're there. We're like,
I need a fucking
me that.
IV of One
Give
Piece
me
going
it.
to my veins.
Yeah. So, me so much so that I'm rereading One Piece every year. So, but yeah. So I gotta go. So, next week we're hoping to be on, and we'll try and talk about some good things. We've got a couple of ideas for what we can talk about on off weeks. So we're gonna look into a couple of those, and we'll pitch them, or not pitch them, but we'll get them up for next week, hopefully.
Yeah, man.
Yeah.
All right.
Have a great time, guys.
You too, guys.
All right.
Peace off. Oh, my camera's all fucked. Fuck this camera. This is a weird ass ending. Don't look at me.
This is like the Tyler the Creator ending.
That's some weird ass
Don't
shit.
look at me, nigga.
All right, man. Take it easy, man.
All right, bye.
Can you check the